Listen to me, people.
Bless you. All right, y'all. Everybody, welcome. Hi, hello, 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 and hello. Welcome to my platform. Happy Thursday. All right. Y'all, it's cold outside. Like it is freezing. All right, y'all. So we got something taking place, and so we gonna have some scheduling differences. Okay, so we're gonna start with that, and then we're gonna talk about why. We also gonna talk about boundaries because boundaries are important. Yet again, here we are, um, because it's important, and doing what you need to do for you. So reclaim what's yours, align with your true path is the message. Hello, hello. God bless you. All right, y'all. It's been a like a go, go, and go racing energy. Like weird. All right. So energy that I have been given, getting, giving. Reclaim what's yours. Align with your true path. A whole lot of um mirrors, windows, doors opening. Um, through. It's a bunch of stuff. But anyway, first things I want to discuss is um, the fact that we're gonna have a scheduling change. So normally I'm going live 8:15 every morning on all the platforms, but it has been brought to my attention that all the platforms cannot be going live on because the nature of some of the things that I talk about and discuss, certain platforms, are having issues with. So first and foremost, I'll let y'all know what the schedule is going to be because we're going to, have to revamp it first just to see what time is the best. Also, the platforms that can get pre-recorded videos on, i.e., YouTube, definitely going to be able to give y'all some pre-recorded videos. So y'all going to start getting more videos anyway that y'all going to see. They're going to be scheduled so y'all will be able to see them early. So look out for that. Y'all over here, I'll be going live with y'all. That's TikTok. So TikTok, Twitch. I'll be going live with y'all. I'll let y'all know when because we can do different stuff over here than we can do anywhere else, like music stuff. So as far as like my YouTube, my Twitch, and my Facebook, I can go live with y'all still, but we gonna figure out what the schedule and the timing is gonna be because I have been gifted a new assignment. All right. So we'll talk about that when it's time to talk about it. Everybody that has more subscription stuff, so I think YouTube, you're the one that has the subscription. So if you're not following me on all my platforms, please follow me on all of my platforms. So my Spirit Lightworker 1111 is my YouTube. So SPIRITLIGHTWORKER 1111 is my YouTube. So if you don't have that, follow that, please and thank you. Um, Golden Girl 302 is my Spirit Lightworker is also my Twitch too. So if you're on Twitch, that's over there. Also Discord got added too. So Discord got added for a different reason. But anyway, that's Golden Girl 302. So my Instagram and my TikTok is Golden Girl 302. GOLDENGURL 302. So if you want to participate in the chats and things that we're going to be talking about, um, definitely going to be doing that. Some of the stuff is going to go. We'll talk about it because I'll be back again to let y'all know. But this morning has been very much letting me see some stuff that, man. Um, so one thing that we're going to talk about, message saying, reclaim what's yours, align with your true path. Clarity and alignment, important. But something else happening in the system that kind of, it's like a wave that goes over. So some of the things that I'm probably about to say may not make sense to certain people, but if you know, then you know. If not, there's nothing I can do about it because again, I got a platform up because I had to come and tell them that I can't say certain things over here because there's stuff happening. All right. Um, anyway, long story short, it ain't gonna affect nothing. It's just everybody gotta be wherever they gotta be. It's the proper alignment, the proper time, and the proper, um, situation when the timing of things, right? Which is fine. There is no issue with that. But there is an issue with people trying to overstep their boundaries. People trying to act like your time is not valuable. Meanwhile, you are in alignment with your true path. And the energy is of people trying to pull you away from that. All right. So be mindful that that exists. Um, Also, everything existing at the same time. So two things could be true, as above, so below. And it is and it ain't. Okay. Now we have to also be mindful of the fact that age don't mean wisdom, but it could. All right. So if there's some stuff that you could have gone through and you could be voicing and saying, it don't matter who don't get it, long as you give the information the way that it is. Because again, when people are running like journeys that seem a little bit the same, you already know how that's going to play out. But sometimes we have to just touch the stove. Mind you, it is a thing where it's so everybody is having a test, right? So the test is this, and I'm gonna tell you what the test is for me, because I can only talk about me. So, and this could be the mirror, because it's going to be the same. So when I say it, it's going to be the same, maybe for somebody else, right? You can see something that is happening, know something is going to happen, um, and you have a choice to say it or not, right? And this is my dilemma, because this is how I feel. I don't want to say it. I don't care to say it, because God knows my mind, my heart, my thoughts, and quite frankly, I hope it happens to them. And that's probably bad to say, only because I don't really wish that. But the fact of the matter is, people be very smug about situations. So if you know, then you don't need nobody to tell you. Let it happen to you. And so, God has to work with me and my heart maybe on that, only because just because people wished certain things for you, don't mean we have to wish certain things for them. And this ain't got nothing to do with, the colors, the people. It don't got nothing to do with that. It just has something to do with individuals as they are. Um, Sometimes, people just have to get what they gonna get. Point blank, period. And me being a messenger of the truth, that's the truth. And sometimes interceding um, only makes it them hate you, right? But then after it's done and it happens the way you already know it's going to happen, they'll be mad at you and they'll say, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, because on the flip side of that, I knew you would be mad at me, hate me, despise me for saying it, because you're thinking that I'm trying to do something to you. Meanwhile, I was just sent to be a messenger of, the situation. Um, some people are not as important as they think they are to the system. That could be me as well, right? But again, I'm going to say it. You was never needed or wanted, right? Um, but on another note, some people that don't think they are as important to the system are important to the system. You are loved, you are wanted, you are needed. The system is calling for you. And so everybody has to figure out, what message is being given to them, or everything could be important at the same damn time, right? Um, at this moment where so many things are being untangled and untied, mind you, it was already designated to be that way, all right? There was no other way it could be, because there is so what feels uncomfortable right now is not punishment, it's protection. Pay attention to the early signals and signs, the quiet nudges, the repetitive thoughts, the repeating situations and circumstances. They're guiding you away from what drains you and back towards what restores you. Today favors correction over force. We're not forcing nobody to do anything. Everybody has their own pathway. It doesn't matter. It's like, say, the equivalent of a mother and a child. Um, you could see things already, happening. You could tell them early. You can give them, the forewarning, the knowledge ahead of time, but they still have to live their life. So they could potentially still do the very thing that you already told them not to do, okay? So today favors correction over force. You don't need to push, prove, or persuade. Adjust your footing, ground yourself in what's real, practical, and nourishing. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Choose what supports your long term peace, even if it disappoints someone else. Clarity arrives the moment you honor yourself. All right, so just so y'all know, there's going to be people that try to um, use their connection to you to sway you off of your pathway. And be mindful that regardless of whether it fails or you succeed, there is no room for failure, okay? But I'm gonna just say this. So whether or not you fail or succeed, let it be on your own merit, not with somebody trying to dissuade you, distract you, emotionally try to put on you. It doesn't matter. It's a lot of stuff happening in the system right now. And again, be mindful that we do not have all the answers. And since we do not have we don't have all the answers, but we also don't have all the information. All right. So that is the thing. Until we get all the information, until the clarity comes across, then that's going to be the only way that we um, are able to make a conscious, uh, decisive decision on what we truly, see, feel, hear in this situation. This is globally, right? So, people in the system think that they are exempt. Nobody's exempt. This is a season in the system where everything is being tested. Mind you, this message is not new. We have just been going through the cycle, and in 2021, 22, I already delivered everything is a test. Mind you, um, what you could be being tested with and what somebody else could be being tested with could be. I hear something about the Richter scale. What is the Richter scale? I think it goes this way. It's like you couldn't even fathom certain things that could potentially be about to happen. So the Richter scale is a way to measure the magnitude of an earthquake. Basically, how much energy is released at the source of the quake. So think of it like a power meter for earthquakes. The bigger number, the stronger the quake. So, something that is important is I've been giving y'all little tips and cues, but giving them to myself, right, along the way. And so it's like looking in the mirror and seeing certain things, right? Maybe seeing the future, seeing the past, whatever. Past, present, and future. Everything existing all at the same time, right? But a mirror and a window are two different things. So that's also important to acknowledge and see, right? Um, so a metaphor for inner shifts or awakening. I told you I had a dream the other day, like something started off small, but then the word I want to use is snowballed into something way, way bigger, right? Sometimes it is the momentum, I want to say, that has already started or taken its placement, is the word, all right? That's the word. So, metaphor for inner shifts or awakenings. Just like it measures the intensity of earthquakes in the physical world, it can symbolize the magnitude of change, disruption, or transformation in your life or consciousness. Um, so minor tremors would be like a 0 to a 3. That is small spiritual nudges or gentle guidance, moments of intuition, subtle realizations, or small shifts in perspective. Light to moderate, it's a 3 to 4.9. Early signs of personal growth or awakening. These can be unsettling but are manageable, like realizing patterns that no longer serve you. We're all seeing patterns, they don't serve us, okay? Strong is a 5. The 5.9 signifies is significant in life lessons or breakthroughs that shake old beliefs, forcing you to confront and release what holds you back. And then it says major to great is 6 plus, is deep transformation, often life altering. This is the kind of spiritual earthquake that can dismantle old identities, bring clarity, or realign your life path dramatically. The scale isn't just about deconstruction, it's about revealing what's hidden beneath the surface. Even the strongest shapes can clear space for growth, new foundations, and alignment with yourself. I kept saying and I kept noticing that in December is when those glitches start to happen. It is whatever got put into the system, and it had to be on a monetary scale because of the fact that that wasn't the new cycle. It was a monetary cycle. And so whatever got put into the system and programmed disrupted something. All right. Um, so one thing can be true at the same time as something else that is well, I want to say a conundrum, but I also want to say it's hypocritical. So a conundrum is a puzzling problem or problem, question, or situation, something that's tricky to solve or understand. It can take a couple forms. So a riddle or a brain teaser, a question posed in a tricky or clever way, often with a pun expected answer. A difficult situation, a problem or dilemma that's hard to figure out or resolve. The missing keys were the real conundrum. I checked everywhere. It's a difficult problem. So another, it's a riddle. What has keys but can't open doors? It's a riddle. Spiritually, a conundrum can represent a challenge that pushes you to think differently or grow. A crossroads where insight and patience is required. It's like I turn everything upside down, or everything that was outside, I pull it inside. And so um, a hypocrite is someone who says one thing but does another. Someone whose actions contradict their stated beliefs, values, and principles. Um, it's not just making a mistake or acting in a way that conflicts with what you claim to stand for. It often carries a moral or ethical judgment because it involves dishonesty or insecurity or insincerity, right? Um, um, so judgment because it involves dishonesty or insincerity. He criticizes others for being late, but is always late himself. She preaches kindness but spreads gossip. That's hypocrisy. All right, so definition: conundrum, a puzzling problem, riddle, or dilemma. A hypocrite, a person whose actions contradict their stated beliefs or values. Nature, situational or conceptual, personal and behavioral for hypocrite. Conundrum, focus, the difficulty or challenge to solve or understand. Hypocrite, the inconsistency between words and actions. Example for a conundrum. Figuring out how to fix the broken system was a real conundrum. That statement is important. Example for hypocrite. He says, honesty is important, but lies all the time. He's a hypocrite. So, spiritual angle. A lesson, test, or opportunity for growth is a conundrum. A hypocrite, spiritual angle, misalignment that calls for self reflection and integrity. So, I'm going to flip it upside down, right? Pull it inside out. And everything that I gave y'all from the beginning, figuring out how to fix the broken system was a real conundrum. Do as I say, not as I do. Hypocrite. A conundrum is about a problem or a puzzle. A hypocrite is about a person whose behavior is inconsistent with their beliefs. A lot of things go over people's heads because I've been having discussions with y'all about paying attention. Like, body language is important. The words that people use are important. And people get mad at me because they say I'm a very literal person, right? I done heard it multiple times. Multiple times, but it mostly comes from people that I done laid down with, you know, intercourse, right? And so they get mad because when I hear, um, they don't like that I hear because they said I take things too literal. And the only person that would be upset by that or affected by that is a hypocrite, a person who is a person whose actions contradict their stated beliefs or values, somebody who is inconsistent between words and actions, like I love you, but not doing things that are loving. So instantly, um, it's a red flag to them because who wants to be with anybody that's very literal? You're going to point out every situation or you're going to catch every instance of me trying to manipulate or lie. But mind you, I've been telling y'all and saying to y'all that awareness is your superpower. And if we were all conditioned at one point in time, and now there is an awakening of an energy that is snowballing, okay? And so snowballing literally refers to a small snowball rolling down a hill. Y'all all seen it before, right? Hopefully everybody has. It is like a thing. You pack it because I didn't know people. A lot of people didn't know how to make snowballs. But if you come from a place where you don't have snow, then you may not know what a snowball is or how to make a snowball, right? So I seen people just, excuse me, packing snow, together and doing that. Doesn't matter if you pack it. It doesn't matter if you create the ball from the beginning and then you roll it. So it's a lot of ways to do a thing, right? And people will want you to do things their way. Because if somebody saw you just packing a snowball, like where I'm from, like me, I done made a couple snowballs. We done made a couple snowmen. So I learned to create the little ball, and then you just roll it. It's fast because and you just spin it around, roll it to the other side. It's quick. Um, it can also create not the perfect snowball if you don't know how to roll it, right? So if you keep rolling it in one area, it start to look like a hay bale or something. But if you know that you need to, smooth it out, turn it, roll it the other direction, and keep rolling it around, it'll do the right thing. But if a snowball rolls down a hill, which I've never seen or never done, but we all seen an avalanche before, right? And so on an avalanche, most of the time, on a cartoon, not a real one, because on a real one, it's like everything is sliding, right? So the whole area is making moves. But on a cartoon or something of that nature, like when a snowball goes down a hill, it may do it in real life, but I don't know. Either way, figurative, figuratively is used to describe something that starts small but grows increasingly larger, faster, and more intense over time. Sometimes stuff starts to snowball because either we're not being honest, maybe, in a situation, or it's like maybe doubling down also too. So we just gonna double down on the bullshit, all right? And then you're stuck in something that you could have got out of or you could have moved away from when it was small. This is people, places, and things, circumstances, or situations. So put it wherever you're dealing with it. Um, Events or problems. Her mistakes started minor, but they snowballed into major crisis. And so now it's like it's like a glamour thing, right? And I'm gonna use it for this, but I really don't want to use it for this. But this is like the biggest thing that's social media happening right now. So there's couples and things. Everybody's breaking up, falling apart, doing whatever they're doing, right? And so now people are analyzing, and when they go back and they look, now they're saying, "How come we didn't see it? How come we didn't see this?" But mind you, now it's there. So it's like when you're looking in a mirror, it's like reflective, so you can see yourself. But when you're looking through a glass, is you seeing the thing. So it's like you outside of the situation. But so that could be the thing that relates to that. Ideals or trends. The campaign snowballed into a nationwide movement, meaning one thing is happening. They thought it was going to be small, but then it turned into a bigger thing. And like I explained to y'all one time when I was sitting here, and then God told me something about a situation. He said, and take it how you want to, Mother Nature, use whatever pronouns you would like. But I heard think bigger. Okay, so think bigger. It was bigger than my city, bigger than my state. It was nationwide. It was global, right? So nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. Um, Finance or debt. So if you don't pay off your credit cards, interest will snowball. Spiritually or personally, snowballing can represent small choices, thoughts, or actions that accumulate and create bigger consequences. So we could potentially be talking about karmic debt also into a situation, right? We could be talking about the positive side of a thing, because when one thing exists, so does the other. So you have accumulated karmic gifts also on the process of that. So just know that when one thing exists, so does the other. But a lot of people want to swap and do this thing that is no longer allowed, not authorized. You're not authorized. You couldn't touch it if you wanted to with a 10-foot pole. The reason why everything is an illusion and went dark and invisible was because it wasn't meant for anybody to see, because of the fact that it was trying to be corrupted. People had access to things that they should have not had access to because it did not belong to them. The consequences of that happening, um, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, a wall. So you can crash and burn if you hit this wall, or you could return it, relinquish it, give it back away from the system. You done enough, right? The other issue is that when people get put in certain positions and things of that nature, instead of them being good people, it revealed that they just weren't. Um, and they're still being tested because of the fact that you could now use the test to restore what was stolen. And so now that's another test. But again, some people wish to double down on the bullshit. And it's cool, but just be mindful that it don't matter. And this is just a little heads up. It doesn't matter if you turn into a good person or not. You were given the opportunity to do it. And if you don't do it, this is where smack it up, flip it, rub it down, oh no, poison. Okay? Because as I said, and y'all can take it for anything, globally, um, we just got an alert here this morning. Certain areas, or there's stuff that's lingering, and now that's bad for all up in here. And so, whether or not anybody knows it or not, it's already begun. And the distraction is to focus on this, but meanwhile, it's something else that is happening. And so the awareness, right? When you are aware of life, it's almost like you have to step outside of it. You already looked at yourself in the mirror, and you are bigger than whatever is being shown and being done. But whatever is being shown and being done wants to distract you, to make you think that you are Goliath or David in a situation. So remember, vice versa. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no, poison. Um, get it or don't. It's upside down, in and out. Everybody already know it because everybody can see it. You teach your children to be good people. What do you see? Um, what feels uncomfortable right now is not punishment, it's protection. Pay attention to the early signals, the quiet nudges, the repeated thoughts. They're guiding you away from what drains you and back towards what restores you. Today favors correction over force. You don't need to push to prove or persuade. Just adjust your footing. Ground yourself. What's real, practical, and nourishing, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So, if up is down, in and is out, right is left, left is right, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but don't do what I said, don't do what I do as I said. But mind you, it's a conundrum. Having different assignments mean you're not meant to respond, build, or move, but it's a conundrum, or it's the hypocrisy of it all. And I know it's weird, but again, we have a platform that don't belong here, that they do belong here, but because of the system, it has to be given to you in a way that can only be given like this. And so, take it how it resonates. Um, the opposite side of everything is important right now, because I can give you something, but meanwhile, what is my intentions? What are the intentions? If I don't give you something right now, what are the intentions? Because again, I just told y'all, um, to me, I already been, smacked, stabbed, killed, died, all of that stuff. I already been that, behind. And again, I shouldn't even say that, but I already been that behind, trying to be a good helper. So in my mind, it makes me not want to, help at all. It makes me say, let them do it, because people going to do what they want anyway. But I was very fortunate enough to be warned about a mistake that I was making, even though I was still going to make the mistake because I had to make the mistake. That was the only way to move that particular pawn off the board. I had to do it. Otherwise, I would have been still thinking it was an opportunity and a chance, or a lesson and a blessing, or a blessing behind a lesson. Either way, I still had to do it. I was still going to do it. Um, do I appreciate the consequences of it? Um, Maybe the system, because again, it's still going to do what it needs to do. And so, in my mind, I feel okay with the outcome only because I'm better now. But also, in the process of me being better now, I'm also a whole lot worse off for going through it. The parts where I feel like I'm a whole lot worse off can be fixed in a blink of an eye. So it doesn't matter. But the part that I had to, that I'm better at and I know I'm better at, I would have to work through that for years, because it took me years from the point of it happening until now in order to be able to work my way through it and now realize that you never needed it. You never needed the system. You never needed the people. You never needed the validation. You never needed whatever it was that you came to the discovery of, okay? That it was always going to be you that activated whatever it was in the system in the end. So nobody else was ever needed. You always held every key that you needed to open every door. Meanwhile, you also was being given um, insight, higher insight, and that kind of made people upset. And so that was the reason why they were speaking to you the way that they were speaking to you. That's why they treated you the way that they treated you. That's the reason why it was also that shield of protection being put over you, because everything ain't for everybody. But there are some that have maybe tried to infiltrate the system and they got nowhere. And I kept giving y'all the reference of the Never Ending Story. It was one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite movies. I still love the Never Ending Story. But it was put in my system early, and it's like the thing, whatever is put in your system early. That particular thing was put in my system early because it was giving me a reference point of when to go back and what to go back to. Because Atreyu was the only person that could have done that. So during the Never Ending Story, it was the darkness that was trying to take over. And in the process, he was a little boy, so he was afraid. And so that's one of the things where when it's uncomfortable, or when we think, like David, it's funny how you get triumphant stories in life, and even at the time when you go up against the big boys, um they think they got it in the bag. Meanwhile, here I am with a little ass rock, or here I am with my little voice, or here you are with whatever it is, right? And to other people, it looks like nothing. But not realizing that fear activates the very thing that is, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Everything is coming down. It has to. And so, whether or not people like it, love it, or not, that is everything. past, present, future. It's all coming down at the same time. It has to. But in the system, be mindful that um, I got a question for y'all. And so in the question, y'all do what y'all will with this information. And then, we'll do whatever after that. Why would it be that the most important information in the world only is given to a select few people? Like, you have to be an expert at it. Um, Mind you, the experts prove to us time and time again they are not encoded. So, on the never ending story, Atreyu had to go through the test, right? Those lions, he had to go through there, whatever they was, birds, but it was whatever that is on them sides. A lot of people try to go through there, right? So even if the most important information on earth is being hindered and held or able to be seen by a select few people, right? And mind you, because they're good at whatever, being bad. They're good at being bad. Because again, um, they will try to seek out who they think is able and by their documentation to be able to do something. Meanwhile, that's also them thinking that they are bigger than Mother Nature. And it could be your baby, your child, you, um, somebody that doesn't even know that they are the key to set off and activate what happens next. But because you're not, part of whatever that is, because you were never supposed to be a part of that, because you were never supposed to be tainted by that, um, they may or may not know that you even exist in the world. And that is the reason why other things are taking place. But engagement is not required. Engagement is not required. But on the flip side of that, engagement is required. Engagement is required, not observation. On the flip side of that, it's not required and no observation, because again, and certain people have made themselves more important to the system above everything else, and that's not the way that it was to be or the way that it's going to be in the end. So no matter how many people get taken out of the simulation or get put in the simulation by the people who think they are um, the ones, that's not the way it ends. So discomfort is a signal to push harder, not to step back. Um, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna leave. But then I'm gonna tell y'all, like I said, my schedule is definitely gonna change all the way, and then I'll tell y'all what time it's gonna be. Like, I'll either post it or I'll just, come live and tell y'all. But it's not gonna be everybody at the same time because stuff has to go a different way. So, looking through the glass is about distance, perception, and access. Seeing without fully entering. It means that shifts. Its meaning shifts depending on scenarios. So when I said you can't see everything happening, or you don't have all the information, you haven't seen everything clearly because it hasn't all been given. So Your role is to witness, assess, and understand the patterns before acting. Everybody's noticing the loops, everybody's noticing the patterns, everybody is awake. But meanwhile, I said when you woke up, it was like playing bumper cars because they already saw it, they already knew, but they didn't know everything. So they tried to control it by when everybody woke up, it was going to be placement. You were going to be awake in an algorithm. So now everybody's awake in the algorithm, but those who can't see that they're still being controlled by the algorithm because I can't say what I want to say because this algorithm is going to do one thing. So clearly it exists, all right? And then all of a sudden, it is freedom of speech being tampered with because your voice matters. And so if it can be controlled, it can be limited, I can make sure that it stays in these boundaries. But God isn't boundaries, God is limitless. So even if it's one of the things where I always say the universe is going to adjust itself as many times as necessary and needed in order to put itself back into alignment. It doesn't matter how many loops, how many outcomes you try to come up with. It doesn't matter how many computer systems you build to try to mimic the numbers or try to, see the scenarios and outcomes. It eventually does what it's going to do. That's it. That's all. So we could be an algorithm inside of an algorithm. Okay? And the power of life and death is in the tongue. But we also have to be mindful of our thoughts because our thoughts manifest into reality. All right? So here the glass represents discernment. You're close enough to understand, but far enough to stay intact. You're not late, you're positioned. Entry only happens when insight is complete. So, on the flip side of that, mirrors matter here because they determine where the information is coming from. Looking at yourself. So one thing that I've been noticing is in my little scrolling endeavors and things of that nature, I've been noticing that I'm picking up information a lot faster and seeing that it's smoke and mirrors, it's lies. Why is that being put so far and so fast? It's spreading far and wide, but not the truth. Mind you, one of the things that help us is maybe a conundrum. Even in the truth, even in the lie, there is truth. So even when they lie, they telling you the truth. So people will say, because I heard somebody say they can't, they're not telling you the truth. Yeah, they are. You're not listening. I just gave you an inference on a situation where the truth is being told, but meanwhile, because you are in it, you can't see it. The people outside of it, though, it's like when your family or your friends or something tells you, this person is da 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 da. Meanwhile, you have a love for the person or you have a feeling for the situation, and you're saying, I got to do what I need to do. So you still have to do what you got to do. You maybe are not ready yet. But then hindsight is 2020 because after you're done with that, then you notice that, you start to see the glamour starts to wear off, and then all of a sudden you'll start to say, they did say that. They did tell me. I heard this. The universe did do this. But because your feelings and emotions were tied to whatever the outcome was, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. So emotions are also your superpower as well. And I know people will say, well, they're too emotional. Well, they're mad. Now, if you can think clearly even with the emotions, that gives you feelings, it gives you discernment. This is why, certain things happen. Um, so mirrors matter here because they determine where the information is coming from. Glass lets you see the situation. Mirrors force you to see yourself in relation to it. That's the difference. So new assignment. See things clearly. Step back. Take a pause. Ask, do you have all the information to situation, circumstances, person, place, or thing? And then determined. So what you notice in others is showing you what you were not meant to carry. The lady that was in here yesterday, she said what she said, and then I told her, it was the conversation we had, that karmic situations, because remember, karmic situations, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, they are teachers. They let us know, where we have to develop more boundaries and things of that nature, right? Or where we have to now do what we got to do. And people will make you think that, a karmic is a bad thing. It is, kind of, but it's actually a teacher, so it helps you become better. But if you had some discernment from the beginning, then maybe some of these things wouldn't happen, or whatever, however it would go. But there are things also on the flip side of that, because there's things that you have done that you didn't get credit for, but you got credit for it. So even though it didn't get credited here, it got credited in heaven. Nobody can do anything about it. It got credited in the universe. And the universe definitely pays back times 10. So being a good person, definitely you will reap what you sow. Okay? So that's important as well. Don't let nobody um, make you think that what you have done, or you being a good person, has gone just to the wind. Because soon you'll see. You recognize patterns without absorbing them. Observe, don't absorb. And my YouTube people already know that, because we've been saying it for months. And so everybody else, y'all just got here. And observe, don't absorb. That is seeing what's happening, um, not feeling the energy. So figure out a way to transmute whatever the energy is. If you got to go outside and stand in the sun, be mindful. Outside is doing a thing, but hug a tree. Figure out something spiritually that you can do that is going to transmute, because it's a lot. And it's important for you to stay um, in that cusp, in that bubble. Because when the storms come, it's like you know you get in a mode, and you make sure that, because the storm is just going to do what it needs to do, but it's not going to touch you. So just know that whatever is meant to be is going to be whatever meant to be. Whatever role you play in this situation, or not, is fine. But remember that your boundaries are important. Remember that your time is important. Remember you are important. All right. So that's all I got to say. Oh, it's some learning about to take place. So just so y'all know, it may be schooling, or just maybe the information is being, given, but it is like a training course or something of that nature, that's also being led, guided, and it's going to elevate you in a way that is going to listen to you anyway, because knowledge is power. So the message again: reclaim what's yours, align with your purpose, your destiny, and don't let nobody take you off. Align with your true path. So reclaim what's yours, align with your true path, and make sure you're being true to yourself. I get it. You want to be, great for everybody, but be great to yourself at this moment in time, because it's important that you learn what you need to learn. All right. So with that being said, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here, and go with God.